Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me on this Saturday. Is it? Um, First of all, thanks for support. I gotta, thank you. I appreciate the people that come in here, and uh, we've been growing. We've been doing all right. So if you want to take a ride with me, we'll talk about things, and that's cool. I appreciate it, folks. Uh, the thumbnail. Mob strategies when dealing drugs, etc., or even non-mob, but that's a better thumbnail. That's better. So it's I remember way back when pot was illegal, and you know uh one day I got a knock on my door. It was this kid and everything. He's like, "You got some pot? You got some pot?" And I never really dealt out of my own household. I'd go to various places, and it was very odd, and that he would be making a move like that. But you got to remember that law enforcement can deputize a regular citizen, and that they're considered law enforcement. So if you sold to them, that would be equivalent by the letter of the law as selling to an undercover officer. So they would deputize these numbskulls and they would take a shot at you. So this clown come to my door, and I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "Oh, well, Pete told me and Tom told me and everything." I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." So after that, I told him, "Get lost. Don't ever come to my door again." And I immediately moved out. And the neighbor told me 2 days later, they come in and kick the door down. There was nothing left but the carpet. So you get keen. I was always careful. So when when these mobsters and gangsters or any other person and civilian, why do they do their dirty deals like at their house? Like the stuff the FBI is looking for, law enforcement in all the traditional places that they look. So you could do it. You can do your dirty dealings very easily at well, I remember the Jamaicans at the off-track betting, and they were coming and going and doing all this and that, and it's like stash your drugs in the garbage can. It's a public garbage can. There was no cameras back then. It's a public, and then you could do there's only a couple people there. A customer comes in, he goes in the bathroom, you go in the bathroom. There's no eyes on it. It's all innocent looking stuff. And why go down like a chump? So even if you're under surveillance, it looks like normal things are taking place. With hardcore drugs, I gotta have a lawnmower out here. Forgive me for the lawnmower. But for hardcore things. Now, I saw that some of these people in the mob or out of the mob, not in the mob, taking very risky things, taking charges, going down like chumps. So why? So in my mind, I would say, well, I would think, if you're gonna do this deal, and there's two parties, well, people go to restaurants and they come and go, and there's bad public bathrooms in there. Why not go in for maybe you order takeout, maybe you sit or have a coffee, but you go in, you go to their bathroom, you stash whatever they have, in the ceiling, It's public space. It's not your house. It's not your car. It's public space. And then you have your other person that you're dealing with come in, order, have a meal, pick up your thing, relax. It just melts in. And, I would say to a couple guys, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And then it'd be like, you can't take a little extra time out to be safe. Or now this was another one. Hi, Leon. Say you're selling Girl Scout cookies, okay? Or you're selling anything. Illegal. God bless the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts. Support them. But you could even have, everybody goes to their friend's house for Monday Night Football. Innocent people in society. And there's mutual friends and everything else. And, the FBI can't be everywhere all the time. So you could go to their basement, or, if there's a room in the house, and you could get lost in their bathroom or the basement or whatever. You could stash something there, have someone else pick it up, root for your sports team, and it's all innocent. It's not even on your property. It's all innocent. Nobody knows anything. Just a Monday night game, Sunday night game. Innocent things. Because sometimes you're not even under surveillance, but you have to assume you're always under surveillance and being watched. So I don't understand why a lot of these people connected with organized crime didn't take these necessary measures, or people outside organized crime. Very simple strategies. I mean, geez. Gas stations. Back then, they had the gas stations outside with the men's room, bathroom, ladies' bathroom. Who would know the difference if you pulled in, fill her up? Yeah, give me the key to the bathroom if you needed a key. Go in there, leave your stash, and then 2 minutes later, another car pulls up. You take off. That's it. You make the money exchange in other different ways. There's many other ways to satisfy the consideration, the money for the deal. Then just go down hand in hand. Hey, Bill, here, give me the drugs. Here's the money. I don't understand, why. So I was a known gambler, the OTBs. So if somebody was watching me, during the winter, you have a snorkel jacket. You could put anything you want in there. In the summer, you could put stuff in your private area or have a racing form or something to cover it. Nobody knows the difference. You just look like a regular person in a normal environment. But I remember somebody, elderly people, they had an elderly family, and downstairs there was a brick chimney, like the old-fashioned brick chimneys, and stash the stuff in there just to be safe. And then when you figure out, but see, the best thing when you're doing all that, you don't hold on to your inventory. When you got your inventory, it's already sold. It's just about have a meeting of the minds, have everybody on the same page, and it's just pick up and money. Money's no problem. At all. Money is no problem at all. I'm not even going to elaborate on that because it's just simple how you can move some money around in different arenas. So it just, I would try to tell some guys, whether it was organized crime, some of these strategies, because they'd have bags of frickin' drugs like this, illicit drugs, and I would say, wait, hold the phone. Maybe it might be better if you did this or did that, because if the boss finds out, you're dead. Because drugs was supposed to be taboo in the mob. But newsflash, folks, the underlings were selling drugs left and right for various reasons, which you all know. So I got cornered one time, and they were saying, "Oh, you were talking to somebody about this or that." And what'd you say? I says, "Well, shouldn't there be a better way for these strategies than to just go down like chumps?" And he said, "Well, explain to me." So I communicated some of the things I just communicated here, and I, and they frown upon it. They frown upon it, but they were like, "Makes a lot of sense, Joe. Makes a lot of sense. If you're a drug dealer, I don't deal. That was a different time. Little marijuana or whatever. It's legal today, so go ahead." So, why, a captain or somebody curious, they're trying to ask me about some of their crew, whatever. No, I don't know what they do. I did see them with drugs before in secret, like that they were, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. But it just boggles my mind how I used to have code words, code language. Just you have to assume the worst, because they had everything wired, everything taped, everything tapped. Everything was tapped under the sun. Just speaking code. Equate things to groceries. A loaf of bread. Are you going to go to the game? How many tickets do you need for, just a regular conversation that can't be scrutinized under the letter of the law. And some of them thought, "Oh, well, you're a little crazy, Joe. You're a little crazy." Well, then just go get your toothbrush and underwear and get ready for the state penitentiary. Like you did 4 years before you went down. All you had to do is this, Herb. This is all you had to do. You didn't think ahead. Why couldn't you take the extra time? Best thing, in public. Instead of sitting at a house and have traffic in your driveway, people coming and going all day long, you're selling drugs out of your house and there's traffic right there and the whole neighborhood knows that you're dealing drugs, Einstein, so you do that and then you go get pinched and you go do time and then you get out of prison and you go back home and you do the same thing. Best thing is, if you're scoring, I don't promote doing risky behaviors and all that. This is just a video. I don't promote breaking the law or anything. But if you're gonna, never hold your inventory. It's already sold. It's already sold. You go to public place. There's parties. There's people that have graduation parties, summertime things. Everybody's coming and going. That's normal traffic. That's normal environment for people to be, the law enforcement, they're not, they got your house tapped, your phone tapped. They got other types of things. So a couple of the guys, they're like, and I knew one time one of the guys was asking me because another associate or some said something. He says, "Well, what do you think about what would you do like this?" And drugs is supposed to be taboo. So he's more or less telling me to elaborate on, well, in this situation, what would you do? And in this situation, what would you do? And I was like, I could read right through them, but I got to play stupid. You got to play submissive a little. But I had the best I can think. And he said, "Oh, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good." And then maybe a month later or 2 months later, I might have been getting a better tip at the card game. But it just boggled my mind, my good people, that how see there was a lot of thinkers and well-educated, street smart, book smart people that dodged the law. But for the ones that didn't, they didn't even have to be that. They didn't even have to have that much of a high IQ to dodge the law. You just a couple necessary steps. And then when you get into wiring money, don't do any of that stuff. That wire, and you can't have a technical footprint, so to speak. You can't have a technical fingerprint on deals because there's a source of origin and there's a source of destination, and no. That's why they had runners running money all over the Eastern Seaboard. Where are you going to go, to Western Union? So, I mean, I don't know. I was, trying to go over a couple notes that would be a little more strategies. There's department stores that you could go in, and a lot of the men's room and the ladies' bathrooms were right side by side. And I don't promote it or anything, but you could go into the men's room and put something in the ceiling over into the ladies' room, and you could have a 10-year-old girl go in there with her mother, pick it up, and put it in her Disney bag. I don't promote to involve children in anything, but as far as your imagination can think, you could come up with different strategies. So, I talked to some of the guys here or there, and leave your freaking stuff. Hey, how you doing, Shapesky? Good to see you, Will and Leon. So I was known to be around the racetrack, a groom, or a mucking stalls, shoveling. I'm trying hard I'm the lowest level in the horse game, and being so you got the wheelbarrow with the manure and everything else, and people come and go that could get in the gate that you're chilled out. You're chilled out. You could make deals. You could make drug deals right in that environment. The law ain't looking there. The law's not looking there. No. And I don't promote it, but you could more or less do a hand-to-hand transaction there in a stall or a tack room or anywhere. Nobody's watching. You're just taking care of the horses. It's but they were doing things the traditional ways, and they were going to prison the traditional ways. And there was, now I don't want to promote anything that's illegal, but a lot of stuff that was illegal then is legal today, because now if the government can make money on it, it's okay. But if Joe Blow makes money on it back then, it's a crime. So, excuse me. So, burns my ass a little bit here and there, but it's okay. That's the sign of changing times. Nothing's forever. So I just thought, because of course, you got to be afraid to go to jail. You got to be afraid. Your innate nature is, I don't want to be locked up in a cage with crazies. Your innate nature. So that should be such a fear and a motivation to make you be so careful. And whether some of these guys who said, well, oh, geez, that's too much action and too much. It's just a couple more minutes, a little more time in lieu of go do your 5 to 7. those drug sentences. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Go right ahead. You don't want to take out another half hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, keep that money making machine going? Well, but I talked to a lot of guys here and there and everything, but I didn't participate in that upper level stuff because, they say that the families didn't agree with drug dealing, but it was very, very prevalent. I know a couple families, and I know that the other 3 families, it was prevalent. That's my opinion. These are YouTube channels, they're opinions. Okay. You, the viewer, can decipher on however you want to interpret them things. But I'm just guessing, and I'm just saying that most of the families dealt in drugs, some families more in depth than others. And right down to connections to Colombia. So, I don't recommend stashing a few pounds of herb or drugs in your buddy's basement, and then you're all mutual friends, and then somebody else comes in and takes it out, and then next week you go in the bathroom ceiling and you pick up your money. I don't recommend that because that's an innocent person there. I don't recommend that. But people did it. People did it. To the best of my knowledge, people did it. But I'll tell you one thing. Under those strategies, these recommended strategies, not one person got busted. Not one got busted. The FBI can't be everywhere all the time. You people go to restaurants to eat. Then you do your deal. People go to OTB, gamblers. People go to department stores. People go to 7-Elevens. People go to gas stations. People go to football games. 70,000 people, 80,000 people. Melt in with the environment. Don't go to a parking lot downtown behind some street and do a hand-to-hand deal. You deserve to go to jail. Just on the precept that you're so stupid. You deserve to. But I just wanted to make thank you, Will Frank. Thank you, Shapeski. I'm still doing it. My ticker's going up. I appreciate your support, everybody. And that was a little... I know I'm still trying to do the insurance fraud videos, but it's tough trying to keep thinking up content and everything. So I'll try to just keep going. Just ride with me as long as I can before I just burn out. So thank you for your support, everybody. Shapeski, good to have you back. Will Frank, good to have you here. Leon, he rode with me the first video. I appreciate you. God bless you all. This is just mob stuff, or strategies of dirty dealings. But we all have lives outside of this, and prosper in your interactions and everything else. More or less, I'd say forget about all that. Tough guy stuff and all that. These guys want to look. I'm not a tough guy. I was a thinker, strategist, and stay out of jail. Hey, Chester, thank you, man. Thank you, Chester. Sometimes they come in good faith, and then sometimes they turn into trollers. I'm just keeping it real. Chester has some questions about the information you are giving. The information I'm giving is self-explanatory, my friend. If you want me to elaborate, I'm saying what if scenarios. What if you're going to do this, then it's better to do that. So I'd imagine no one got busted. Yeah, no, that's cool, Chester. Go ahead, fire away. I was going to end this video, but let's do it. Let's make it quick. I talk to the people that comment in here. I'm not like those straight ass other YouTube channels. I try to be personable. I'm never going to be monetized or all that stuff. I like hanging out with people, and we can shoot it around. Yeah. Well, a lot of the people got busted. They got immunity. People informed they have immunity. I can't set up a scenario where I could be incriminating myself. They're what if scenarios. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and the people were robbing the social clubs. People were robbing, people trying to rob the drug dealers. People trying to rob the guy that's with the money going to go make a drug deal. But if you got your stuff stashed and everything else, nobody knows where your money is but the other guy. If the money's gone, you got your drugs. There's no other way. Yeah, I mean they Hollywood is Hollywood, and they make it all look like. And you got Hollywood TV and movies. You got Mike Francis. You got Sammy the Bull Gravano. So a 20-year-old person perceives that all that stimulus, and they get their thought about what organized crime might be. Well, oh geez, Joe, I heard Mike Francis say it was like this. You're wrong about this. Well, just because Mike Francis said something, that's the whole way the whole mob operated. Yeah. So, got to take things face value. I mean, I'm saying there was just so many easier strategies to do whatever dealings you're doing, even when they're bookmaking, and collecting money. Better strategies of collecting money, and stay under the radar. Better strategies when you're talking on the phone. I told a guy way back when, I don't know what's going on, but if you're going to say this or that, you're going to have code words. You got to use code words. You see a guy at a clam bake or a confirmation, and you say, hey, listen, Tom, if we're ever going to talk about something, these are the code words we're going to use. Other than that, bye-bye. Because the FBI's got everything wiretapped. So what do you want to do? Why don't you just talk in code? No, but you see all these channels, they got the FBI wiretaps and the taps and everything else. You might as well just walk into the FBI building with your hands up and get handcuffed. Why wouldn't you just talk about things in general? Are you going to go to the hockey game? Well, I want to take the missus this time. I'm going to need 3 tickets. Well, we're going to get some subs from the deli. What do you want to get? Well, I want to get the boom. You already know all that coded information. So if anybody's listening in, they can't, it's not incriminating. It's not incriminating. But all you see on these mob channels is all the wiretaps, and they're also the bosses. John Gotti's one of the best. Sammy the Bull. Dude, if I was the boss, I wouldn't have got caught. That's a tough statement to make. But then the RICO, all the rats and everything else, go out and be a regular productive person. Some of these guys were so smart and intelligent, they should have just had an education and went off and had a regular civilian job and progressed. But they were born into it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But thank you, Chester the Cheese Man, for coming in here. I like to see the people that come in here, Yeah. Schlitz, Georgia. The party's just ending, Schlitz, George. I've been on here for 29 minutes, but thank you for showing up. So thanks a lot, people, for coming in. And, I just wanted to show a couple strategies because I see how these people went down and everything. And you know, yeah. Well, thank you, man. I got videos on there. I got a whole slew of videos, slits, and you know, small channel, but I just give my opinion and views about some stories I was around or made up or whatever, and see what happens. So I'll sign off as that. So thanks a lot, folks. It's not partly cloudy; it's partly sunny. Stay strong. The tough guy's the hardworking guy, and he supports his family and friends. And if you need help, ask somebody for help. That's more of a man. So thanks for coming in and riding with me. God bless all of you, and you know I'll be back, God willing. Thank you very much. God bless.